there's a lot of campaign about entrepreneurship, and also the same way, if I always talk about balancing, there also has to be a campaign about employability. I keep talking about motivational speakers. I'm sorry, of course, I don't like to get on their way, but a lot of the time what they teach most of the time is to tell you create jobs, create jobs, create jobs, create jobs, create jobs. Now, in the bid of trying to create jobs, we are going to lose our best hands because they want to force them, or they want to appeal to their conscience the need to create jobs for themselves. Everybody are not going to be job creators. And if in between the thin line while we are preaching about job creation, we are not talking about how you could get prepared to get a job. There are people who are just going to be our life wires by being the job person. And if we lose them in the bid of trying to just always talk about creating jobs, go get something for yourself, do something for yourself, do something for yourself, and do something for yourself over and over again, we'll miss those guys. And what that will happen to the system is that there will never be a balance. Underemployment is subject to each person's characteristics. For me, I always advise or talk to people about not taking what you think you don't deserve, because it will get to the point you will never have time for your job. Nobody's putting you on a job so that you have your time. It's going to be an 8 to 5 job. And as much as your boss is on you, you might likely never have the right opportunity anymore to get a job of your dream. So if you know that 50,000 naira is something that you can't afford, you don't want to, you don't just, that 50,000 naira is something that you don't want to get close to. You are looking for a job of 100,000, stick to your gun, because that way you can have the biggest privilege to get your offer. But if out of desperation, in fact, a lot of the time when people somebody came for an interview about 2 weeks ago, the job role was supposed to be for 60,000 naira, and he said he won't mind 30. He didn't know that the job role was 60,000 naira. He said he won't mind 30, and the first question I asked him, are you this desperate? Because if I didn't tell him that, but I asked him if you are this desperate to get this job. Of course, he said he needed the job. But for me, as an HR, the moment I sense that feeling of desperation is a no for me. Because there are a lot of factors that are going to be in play. I'm not going to feel comfortable. I'm not going to trust you. I'm going to have some form of reservations about your personality. Are you doing this because you just want to get out of work and get out of home, and when you get another job, then after 2 months you zap out? Are you doing it because you are not honest, because you think that you have other game plans in which we can be able to get back your money? What are the other reasons behind you just being desperate about getting the job? So I have a reservation about those who come desperate, trying to say, okay, I'm going to take any offer. A lot of factors, but I'll mention one first. One of the factors is that there are a lot of people in that role from the onset. Each company has their structure. Let's say we have let me use the word G1, G2, G3 based on the hierarchies. And for each of those, let's say we have 5 people in that role. And the highest person that is paid there is earning 100,000 and has been there for 10 years. Of course, it has been a structural problem, but you can't really, even as an HR, there's really something little you can do about that. If you have the highest person who has stayed there 10 years and is being paid 100,000, whatever skill the person has, except the person is going to be usurping that person or becoming the manager or the director, that role, that person should be earning less than 100,000. The reason for this is that you don't want to create heat in the system where people are aggrieved and you are not aware the reason why they are aggrieved. The person who has been there for 10 years, the moment he knows that the person who just came into the system, they are on the same level and they are earning the same value, start having this consciousness of protest that he deserves more. Why should somebody who just came in be earning more? So in that regard, in terms of structural structures, it is so important not to always go close to that. Even if at least there is a very meager difference between both parties, that should sell. But yes, that's one. Two, also in terms of locations, I could need a job and I could post an advert, and for this role, this is the value and place it for this role. And so when you see must reside in Nigeria or must reside in so place, what signal that sends to you is that there's a value on that role. And I personally have measured the value that anybody staying outside this environment might not be able to cope with the salary structure. So the moment you place an advert and you're invited, you are likely not going to get anything less than what the salary structure is for that role. So it also affects recruitment process also in terms of the salary range.